you from the world-famous LWDL Studios. This is The Spotlight with Dan. Hi everyone, I'm Dan, and welcome to the show. I'm here by myself today for the first of a series of solo episodes we're calling The Spotlight with Dan. Don't worry, Lewis will be back for our normal weekly episodes of Life with Dan and Lewis. These are just extra shows taking a deep dive into specific topics where I can focus on my individual thoughts and experiences while still tying in to Life with Dan and Lewis. For the first episode of The Spotlight with Dan, I'll be taking a look at brutal honesty. So, what does brutal honesty mean? Brutal honesty is a term that refers to a direct and straightforward approach to telling the truth, without regard for how uncomfortable or harsh it may be. This type of honesty is often compared to regular or traditional honesty, which is a more measured and diplomatic way of telling the truth. Brutal honesty can be seen as a type of radical honesty where truth is told without much consideration for how it may be received. So you may be thinking, why is brutal honesty important? Well, there are several benefits to using brutal honesty. Brutal honesty can help to build trust as it creates more authentic relationships where people are open and transparent with one another. When people feel they can trust each other to be honest, even when the truth is difficult to hear, it creates stronger bonds and a greater understanding. By being direct and straightforward, brutal honesty can help to resolve conflict more quickly. This is because it cuts through any ambiguity or misunderstanding and allows individuals to get to the root of the problem and find a resolution that works for everyone. Brutal honesty helps to create more open and honest communication, allowing practitioners to be more forthcoming with one another. This can lead to a deeper understanding and a greater appreciation of each other's perspectives, and can foster a more productive and positive relationship. By being transparent and straightforward, brutal honesty can help to increase accountability and responsibility. This is because it holds people to a higher standard of behavior and encourages them to be honest and forthcoming about their thoughts and actions. By being transparent and straightforward, brutal honesty can help to increase accountability and responsibility. This is because it holds people to a higher standard of behavior and encourages them to be honest and forthcoming about their thoughts and actions. By being honest with yourself, brutal honesty can help to promote personal growth and increase self-awareness. This is because it allows you to reflect on your own thoughts and behaviors and to identify areas where you may need to change or improve with little concern for how those changes will occur or how they will be received by others. Brutal honesty has many benefits, from building trust and resolving conflicts to improving communication and promoting personal growth. However, it also has negative consequences if not used with a little caution. Brutal honesty can be perceived as blunt or harsh. People may feel attacked or criticized, which can lead to feelings of anger, hurt, or resentment. If brutal honesty is not delivered in a thoughtful and appropriate manner, it can damage relationships and create lasting harm. Brutal honesty can also have a negative impact on motivation and morale, especially if it's used to criticize or condemn individuals or their actions. People may feel discouraged or disheartened and may lose the motivation to continue working towards their goals. By being direct and straightforward, brutal honesty can sometimes escalate conflict. People may become defensive or entrenched in their positions, which can make it harder to find common ground and reach a resolution. Brutal honesty can also be misinterpreted, especially if it's delivered in a way that is unclear or vague. People may misunderstand the intent behind the honesty, which can lead to further confusion and conflict. While brutal honesty has the potential to improve communication and create a more open and authentic relationship, it also has the potential to cause significant harm. It is important to be aware of the potential downsides when using brutal honesty. The way that brutal honesty is delivered can greatly impact its effectiveness and reception. It is important to use a calm and compassionate tone and to avoid using blame or criticism. Additionally, it can be helpful to use I statements rather than you statements, and to take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. The way that brutal honesty is delivered can greatly impact its effectiveness and reception. It is important to use a calm and compassionate tone and to avoid using blame or criticism. Additionally, it can be helpful to use I statements rather than you statements to take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. The context in which brutal honesty is used is also important. It may be more appropriate to use brutal honesty in a situation where there is a clear need for improvement or change, rather than in a situation where people are already feeling vulnerable or sensitive. Brutal honesty should be used with respect for feelings and perspective of others. This means avoiding cruelty or insensitivity and being mindful of the impact that your words have. Remember that the purpose of brutal honesty should always be to improve the situation and create more open and authentic relationship, rather than to control, manipulate, or harm others. It should be used to provide constructive feedback and to facilitate growth and improvement, rather than to criticize or condemn. The appropriate use of brutal honesty requires careful consideration of timing, delivery, context, respect, and purpose. By using brutal honesty in a thoughtful and mindful manner, it is possible to improve communication, build trust, and create more positive and fulfilling relationships. Finally, there's a balance to maintain between being brutally honest and also showing empathy and understanding towards others. This means being mindful of how your words may affect others, and making a conscious effort to communicate your thoughts and feelings in a respectful and compassionate manner. Additionally, it is important to listen to the other person's perspective and to be open to their feelings and opinions, even if they differ from yours. Before delivering brutal honesty, it's important to understand the feelings and perspectives of the other person. This can involve active listening, asking questions, and considering their point of view. By starting with empathy, you can build a foundation of trust and understanding. When delivering brutal honesty, it can be helpful to use I statements that take responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings, rather than blaming or criticizing others. For example, you could say, "I feel upset when you do," rather than "you always do and make me upset." Avoid harsh or judgmental language. Words can be powerful, and the way that you express yourself can greatly impact the reception of your message. It is important to avoid using harsh language or judgmental language, and to use a compassionate and understanding tone instead. Brutal honesty is most effective when it's used to provide constructive feedback and to facilitate growth and improvement. After delivering your message, it can be helpful to offer solutions or suggestions for how to move forward. It's important to follow up after delivering brutal honesty and to ensure that the other person has had time to process your message and to see if there are any further steps that need to be taken. Maintaining the balance between brutal honesty and empathy plays a huge role in unlocking the power behind brutal honesty. So, what does brutal honesty look like? A manager telling an employee that their work performance is not meeting expectations. The manager's goal is to help the employee improve and meet the standards expected of them. If the manager sugarcoats the situation, the employee may not understand the gravity of the situation and may not take the necessary steps to improve. The manager must also approach the situation with empathy and provide constructive feedback rather than just criticism, in order to help the employee grow and succeed. A friend telling another friend that they're not happy with how they've been treating others. In this situation, brutal honesty is necessary because the friend is concerned about the impact the other friend's behavior is having on others and wants to help them change. The friend must balance their brutal honesty with empathy by expressing their concern for their friend's well-being and their hope for them to improve. The friend should also be prepared for the other friend to feel hurt or defensive, and approach the situation with understanding and compassion. A spouse telling their partner that they are unhappy with a certain aspect of their relationship. This situation requires brutal honesty because it involves a close personal relationship and the future of the relationship is at stake. The spouse must balance their brutal honesty with empathy by expressing their love and affection for their partner and their hope for the relationship to improve. The spouse must also be prepared for their partner to be hurt or defensive and approach the situation with understanding and compassion. In all of these examples, it's important to remember that brutal honesty must be used with empathy, with the goal being to help improve the situation and find a path forward that is acceptable to everyone. At its core, brutal honesty is about caring at a personal level while challenging others directly. There's no beating around the bush, there's no bringing up topics or issues that don't matter. It's about finding solutions. It's direct, it's truth, and it's powerful. That's all that's in the Spotlight with Dan for today. If you like what you heard, check out more episodes and our regular series, Life with Dan and Lewis, at lwdl.buzzsprout.com or wherever you find podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to be the first to see new episodes of The Spotlight with Dan and Life with Dan and Lewis. Coming up on future episodes of The Spotlight with Dan, we'll talk about financial literacy, self-motivation in being your own boss, trying new things, following a passion, it takes 10,000 hours, chill anxiety, and more. I hope to see you all there. Until then, take care and be kind.